at the peak in the area of the West Coast National Park, and then it goes again into your Blouberg area. And literally people could go and chase this wave over a period of 2 months. And it's interesting because, of course, it shows the health of the area. Something that I think that you won't often find in the West Coast is this idea of over-tourism. There's so much space available for everyone.
What would be over-tourism?
Well, in a lot of the international destinations, that's on many people's bucket lists. You get to wonderful places and you can't even turn. There are just so many people there, so many vehicles, that type of cluster that becomes uncomfortable, and that you can't really relax, which is a big thing in the West Coast. I mean, we go slow. You can't relax, you can't find yourself, you can't connect to yourself, you can't connect to the country, the land. That is something that we really think is very important. Respect for people, respect for the land is a big thing for us in the West Coast, and that's what we want to encourage people.
So just to describe as well, because obviously it is flower time then when September comes and it's springtime and then there's flowers. What else is there obviously that people can look forward to besides obviously the flowers itself, exploring that avenue as well?
Well, of course, the question you're actually asking is, so Carmen, if it rains or the clouds, there's overcast, and there's no flowers, because those flowers, they only shine when it's sunny, or just open when it's sunny. What do we do? And it's really, the West Coast is very strong on culture, heritage. Starting from Cape Town, and I'm just going to highlight a couple of places. You look at Kwatu, which is Kwatu Sun Culture and Heritage Center. Every South African should go there. The food, the views, the museum, it ends in a interactive digital center that you step in, and it's in this sort of in the shape of a huge big ostrich egg. It's sort of an oval shape. And you sit in the center and you're actually in the midst of a sun village. And you are, as they're dancing, you are learning about that life that goes back thousands and thousands of years. And then you move a little bit up, you're going on your road trip, which is what West Coast Way is all about. Take the family, Oma, Opa and the Tannies. And then you go all the way up, and the next big stop for me when it comes to culture and heritage would be the West Coast Fossil Park. Again, the quality of the exhibitions, the information that's given, the care that's taken. I mean, I can say food. Yeah, there's a fantastic coffee shop and so on. Going road tripping is hungry work, but it's just something that we as South Africans can be so proud of. And then, if you want to go and do something a bit more closer to connected to Earth, if I can put it to you like that. Imagine you're driving through and you go all the way to Lambert's Bay, and maybe just before that you stop off at Eland's Bay, and there's a cave with all this beautiful historic art.
Oh wow!
It's a sacred space. There's no entrance fee. You just need to get there.
Oh wow!
So you pack your padkos, make sure your car's filled. And that's where you go. And you can do that in a day, and in the evening be back home if you live in Cape Town. Wow. Or of course there's a lot of accommodation available along the West Coast. But small places, no big groups. Yeah. That's the thing with the West Coast. It's all about intimate experience of the country.
Yeah. Wow.
And I want to touch on that because one of the other things it's also becoming a bit of a foodie hotspot as well. And we definitely want to get into it. But just backtracking quickly to this flower season, what makes it so special? Because people are coming from everywhere for this.
Yeah, well, I think it's an international recognition of well, in Japan you have the blossoms. In the Netherlands you've got Keukenhof, and in South Africa you've got the wildflowers.
Oh, wow.
The volume of flowers, once you step out of your vehicle, whether it's a tour like what we offer over August, September, or whether you do your own self-drive, and you step out and you get out of the vehicle and you look down at a space of 1 meter by 1 meter, you at least, you have over 100 different type of plants.
What? Wow.
That are together there, and that are the wildflowers. But you know, you also have your renosterbos, you've got your fynbos. You've got plants there that tell a story about our country. Nitida, it's the name of a protea.
Oh.
But it's also called the voortrekker wagon wheel plant. The Nitida protea, which is what we drive past in the Cederberg, go up to sometimes 5 meters tall. It's a very hard wood, and it would have been used to make the wheels of the voortrekker wagon. So it's an interesting thing, because going onto a West Coast Way tour, you learn something about the perseverance that's in our country. There's a wonderful place called Waalmakersvlei that's now between Elandsbaai and sort of the, you know, where the Berg River is at Bokomlaan. And Waalmakersvlei used to be, if you can imagine, a stop where people came and they used to, you know, get water. They couldn't pump up the tires because it was voortrekker wagons, but like, you know, water for the cattle and whatever they needed to do the next part of their trip.
Thank you, Rhoda.
From the sunfield at the top with maybe the potatoes and the vegetables, and then going down to Cape Town. So that was their midway stop. Now, as you go on a West Coast Way wildflower tour, you learn all about these little stories that's dotted around, just like the flowers. And it's a real, to me, the flower is a natural thing. It's, you know, biology.
Yeah.
But every flower tells a heritage or cultural story about the people of South Africa. And it's an interesting story to tell.
Wow, it sounds exciting. When you say it like that, it's like, you know, you want to do this, because 2026 is not that far around. It's literally on the doorstep, isn't it? And already there are Wildflower Foodie Tour dates.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's the Mahala Monday special. Well, that's correct. Well, we've already pre-booked and released our 2026 dates. So it's every Friday we depart. We're back on a Tuesday. The last 2 weeks of August, the first 2 weeks of September. And people can now book. If they book now, before 1 January 2026, they get it at 2025 prices. Now that's especially for the Mahala team on a Monday.
I want you to say that again. I want you to say that again. Could you say that again?
Yes. So we've booked and released our 2026 dates, and that's the last 2 weeks, starting on the 21st of August, last 2 weeks of August, the first 2 weeks of September.
Okay.
Every Friday, there's a tour that departs. Every Friday, and then we come back on a Tuesday. Our tours, it includes everything. Your pickup from the airport, because, as you said, more and more people are becoming aware of the value of what the West Coast has to offer. And there are more and more people coming from overseas to join us on our tours, which we're very grateful and excited for. So they really need to pre-plan those dates, and for our locals, I think that what I find is that, you know, there's this idea that maybe an older generation are the only people going on the tour, and that's actually not correct. Your younger people are also wanting to connect want to sit back and look at what's going on and really go also on a photographic experience. Which is what art tours offer. And I think that for the older generation, I find that they're often quite busy. So your people in Joburg, your people in Pretoria, Durban, it's absolutely fantastic. They only need to take off, the Friday, because then they already start their tour on a Friday. They land, sort of afternoon. We pick them up at the airport. That evening we start with a West Coast dinner.
Oh, okay.
It's prepared, and then the next day we start our tour. So all of that is included, and I do the tours.
There we go.
Good.
It's taken me a while to get to this point, but I absolutely love meeting the people on tour, and their stories. And do you know how many people we meet who either originate from the West Coast or might have met each other in the West Coast like 20 or 30 years ago, and this is sort of their coming back to where they started all those years ago.
Sweet,
So a lot of interesting stories around the West Coast.
This is absolutely great. This is great. And of course, we're going to get those details for you as well, how you can do the tour. But the important thing is for you to know is the last 2 weeks of August, the first 2 weeks of September. Yes, 2025 rates, baby, for 2026.
There we go.
That's it. That's
Go
your
on a Friday,
special.
you come back on a Tuesday. Come on.
Yeah.
There we go. You got to do that. And you said now young people as well, because I wanted to ask you, because at the end of the day, you venture into nature, you kind of a little bit everywhere there. In terms of accessibility, especially because I just assumed, up until you said a lot of younger people, I just would have just assumed a lot of mature people. But in terms of accessibility, does it sort of cater for everybody and needs and that sort of thing?
Definitely. Firstly, the flowers are on 2 months of the year. So you can go for a day or you can go for a week. That makes it accessible in terms of time and budget. The flowers have become sexy.
Excuse me.
So I think it's attractive. People want to be seen there. They want to experience it. People want to take out their Jimny, their Suzuki Jimny for a drive amongst the flowers. That's sort of the beauty of that. And I have to do some, as I say, some name dropping. But I mean, if you go and you travel up the N7 and then you decide, okay, a soft right into Klein Willem, it's about an hour further. Then you go into Bido Valley. So Bido Valley is perfect for that type of interaction, where maybe you want to pack your own picnic and sit and walk and just have a look at that space. It's a valley, and we're so blessed. The farmers are so committed to the flower tour that for the period of time that we've got our flowers out, they take their cattle off the farm. So it's a perfectly safe space for people. It's quite flat, so that's quite nice. Talk about accessibility. I think the only thing is, and I think people get used to this, but there are a lot of spaces in the West Coast where you will not get internet connection. You will not get. So that's something you have to get used to.
And it's strange how it is nowadays, because people are actually looking for the spots where they eat, because that's like the real holiday now.
That's a real holiday these days.
It's almost become like, if you are not the...
I want to break away.
I want to go there.
Well, the flowers are like celebrities. When you look at the people taking the flowers, photos of the flowers, you have a cell phone, and then you've got some people with really long lenses. So I think in that way we're the paparazzi
Yeah.
and the flowers are the stars.
100%. 100%.
And that's the beauty of it.
I want to ask you this because obviously visually it is something. I mean, we've all seen it or experienced it or heard the tales and, you know, in terms of the flowers and just nature in its full majesty of what it resembles. But the one thing that is definitely a catalyst for most people to make decisions of where they go, the cuisine, and when it comes to the food on the West Coast, this is unique.
Absolutely.
This is really something that is. Talk to us about the food. How will people's taste buds be provoked and excited?
Well, roosterbrood.
Roosterbrood.
Beautiful, beautiful jams. Cheeses from Guernsey cow. Heard that's in the Berg River area on in the where Veldrift is, from a guy called Cook van Koekenboomkaas. Dave and his wife, stunning cheese. And then obviously we look at both vegetarian, so fresh from the land. The story between the potatoes that come from Sandveld, an area that we drive through. Did you know this is where your potatoes come from? And then, of course, you've got your pomegranates from the Darling and Riebeekwes area. Then, of course, the voggies. You've got your wines. Each wine in the West Coast tell a story. You've got your Kookfontein wine, Sauvignon Blanc from Lambert's Bay. You've got your Friars Cove wine that's a bit higher up. So I see you, I can see you need to go
wines.
there. That's touring by. And then,
You
of course,
mentioned wine.
wine. There's
Loves his
definitely a
wine.
sharpening of senses there. Yeah, so the West Coast, it's not just that it's a meal and it's beautifully prepared with a lot of love. It's all the taste that's around it. And you know, there's this word that sometimes gets overused. It's the word smorgasbord. Smorgasbord. First time I saw it, I thought, what is that? But now I've learned that is the West Coast. It's a spread.
Oh.
It's a spread, and
you
you know, something that you know, one of our desserts. It's called skynskoek. Now, skynskoek is a varietal of
know what it is.
koeksuster. And there's nou die Kaapse koeksuster and die twisted koeksuster, but it's not. It's flat and it's literally cut skew. And same sort of process that it's made as a normal koeksuster.
Oh,
but
my word.
that is absolutely endemic to the area. A Skeins koeksuster.
Skates
All right, so
I need to get a picture of
We
that.
are inclusive.
Very inclusive. Oh, wow.
yeah. So there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that you gotta remember. Okay, so I want to talk just to you right now. So Skates Cook, you gotta check that out. That is the one thing that you gotta do. But also you gotta visit the website and of course do that straight away. The details we're gonna give to you shortly, because remember what Carmen said just a short moment ago, that the last 2 weeks in August and the first 2 weeks in September,
Yes.
next year, like I will double check with Carmen now, but I think it's full now. It's done.
We'll just
Maybe
check with Carmen
there'll
now.
be a little spot left or something. But yeah, but for next year, you want to get into this early.
Yes.
You got to get that next year and this year's rate. All I'm saying.
Remember that.
That's all I'm saying. Imagine paying for something what it cost last year. That doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. So very, very
Yeah.
important. You need to go. You need to go there. So in terms of, before we talk, and actually let's do that for those who are interested in booking travel logistics. What can people expect? How do you go about this?
We manage most of the travel logistics except booking your flights.
Okay.
We collect the people from the airport, we take them to the accommodation, and then stay with them all the time and make sure that the program over the 5 days, 4 nights it gets rolled out. We find the flowers, we walk them through the flowers, and at the right times of the day. We've got a couple of seats left now that you've brought that up.
Okay.
Of this 13th of September till the 17th of September, all the other tours are booked out. We always say to guests, download the iNaturalist app.
What is that?
It's a very nifty app that if you see a flower and you don't know what it is, you photograph it and you type in, this is a circumstance that I've seen. You maybe add a photo of where it is. Maybe okay, it's in Bido Valley. And then AI looks, matching it to see if there's any other incidences of where that flower was. It tries and identify it for you. And if it can't, it gets reevaluated daily by the clever people, and then they will find it for you and note this is the name of this particular plant.
Wow.
Have
you found a flower that didn't have a name?
No, not yet.
Because I was going to say they're going to name it after you.
I was thinking it must be called Mahala.
That's what I'm going to be looking. I need to take a photo of Rhoda.
But I think the most important thing is people must pack in their sunscreen, sunglasses, sun hat, insect repellent, comfortable shoes.
I was going to say the shoes.
And cash. A lot of small towns do not have an ATM. A lot of times
you're not going to tap.
We stop and there's this amazing lady and she's selling dried fruit or whatever. Yes. She doesn't have a tap machine. No. Cash. So, bring cash with, otherwise you're going to feel disappointed. So that's of course we always say to people, don't pick flowers, don't trample on the flowers.
Yeah, please guys, don't.
Respect.
Yeah, exactly. And then just a quick one. I mean, I'm just asking this off my head because I tend to be quite a bit of a lazy person, not a jummy person, not a very active person. Yes, Dugald. I just want to know fitness level. So there's no particular fitness level. We're not going to be climbing mountains. Like you said, everything is more flat. So it's just enjoying it?
Excellent question. No. You must have the ability to step in and out of the vehicle. And it's up to you how far you want to walk around in Bido Valley or Postburg. When we go to Matjiesfontein, this is not Matjiesfontein, the town, it's a farm.
A farm.
How much walking do you want to do? Okay. But I must say there's an incredible market out there for people who do want to do a flower tour that's more active. In other words, with long walks and a bit of a, going into the Cedarburg or something like
more
that.
More like a hike.
Yeah, like a hike.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity for a business person out there who's wanting to take that on.
Yeah.
Be my guest.
But in a nutshell, wherever you go, you are going to be bedazzled because you're going to see amazing things and you're going to eat like a king.
Yes, you're not going to go hungry.
There we go. Sure. That's important.
On our vehicle, we've got this a basket, and in it we've got water and juice and fruit and little snacks and stuff. So there's no way, no one can go hungry.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's no space for hangry on the bus.
You can't get angry. I love that.
So guys, just get that early bird special. You know what you got to do. So it's very, very simple. You go to westcoastway.co.za. That is the details, right? That is a website, westcoastway.co.za. And of course, we mentioned to you that early bird special. That Carmen, thank you very much for that. That is just absolutely wonderful because you're watching Mahala Monday.
Yes.
You see? So that special is coming your way, and definitely make those bookings. Last 2 weeks of August, first 2 weeks of September, you will go on the Friday, and then you will return. The last day is the Tuesday. Yeah, so it's a like a long weekend, isn't it?
It is,
it's a long
my
weekend.
word.
That's like Rhoda. She constantly, you the queen of long weekends. Don't you have one every week?
I wish to go. I tell you how lazy I am. So exactly. I just wish I could.
Long weekend queen over here. Now you know where to find her. Anyway, so westcoastway.co.za, that is it. It is your route to nature.
Your route to nature.
Yeah,
Route to
Well
nature.
done. I'm impressed.
That was a tagline. I couldn't quite get there, but yeah, got there though. At the end of the, we still got to touch base with Annette as well.
That's right.
But before we go any further, we got a comment or two quickly
Yeah.
that we just want to highlight and go there. And
Ah,
Mark
there's
says,
your Mark.
Mark, hello,
Hey,
Mark.
Mark.
Mark says, simply cannot wait for the springtime, loving the context about the West Coast and the spirit Carmen is bringing. So thank you very much for that,
Thanks,
Mark.
Mark.
Thank you very much. Hubert says, local food, local flowers. Where's the local support? The flowers don't wait, and neither should we.
Hey, we go.
100%, sir.
Thank you,
100%.
Hubert.
We should definitely do that. The flowers don't wait. 2 months, you got a 60-day period, give or take, that is basically it. And it's a vast area, so yeah, you definitely got to do it. It is one of those things. I mentioned you guys off air, but as a child, we used to do this regularly. I mean, my parents do this every 3 years or so.
Oh, wow.
They do this, all the time practically. But, I haven't done it in a long time.
So you need to take your kids to go.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think I need to do that. We need to most definitely do that. But any upcoming flower shows that are coming up?
Yeah.
Any wildflower spotting tips? Anything that you could spill? Basically, we want the skinner. Can you give us the skinner?
All right. Flower shows are, of course, incredible in the West Coast. Because the reason for that is it's not just a show that's held in either a church or a hall. It's usually the whole town is involved. So the town itself becomes an experience. So starting off sort of the last weekend of August, start of September, you can go to the Blommekerk, which is the flower church in Klein Willem. I was blown away last year. It was amazing. So you're definitely going to want to go there. It's very interesting. Going down the road, a little bit closer to town, easier drive maybe for some people. Hopefield, they also have a big flower show. And then again, closer to town. So remember how I said the flowers go in that wave?
Yes.
Now the flower shows, they follow that.
Same wave. Okay.
We have the Darling Wildflower Show, which of course is an institution. It's what's always so amazing is it's a flower show, and you're going to learn a lot about the flowers, and the exhibitions and so on. But it's all the crafts markers, the crafters around it. It's all that local talent that has a wonderful platform to perform and to show their colors, not just the flower colors. And again, what I want to say there is, if you go now and you do your search and you say, okay, I want to do Klein Willem or Hopefield or Darling, book your accommodation. You've got to think a bit wider. If you can't, you want to go to Darling, but you can't get accommodation in Darling, don't stress. You can go to Eiserfontein, you can go and stay in Riebeekwes, you can even stay in Langebaan and drive that short bit and maybe even pop in at the West Coast National Park for that weekend.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's so much to do in the West Coast, so
exciting.
And all of those flower shows are a couple of days long. And a lot of people will call me and say, but is it actually set up already on day one? The people in the West Coast, they're super excited. When the doors open, the show is on.
There we go.
Yeah, we're waiting for the people. We're ready to entertain.
I'm so excited myself now. I'm definitely going.
Yeah, you take weekends off.
But I mean, I've mentioned a lot of stuff now, and I mean, if anyone travels up the West Coast and they take a basket or even a cooler box with some ice packs to keep everything fresh and cold and so on, not what they're necessarily driving up with, it's what they buy to take back home. That's the thing.
That's one. I like
Running out of
that.
space, running out of space. With us this evening on Mahala Mondays, Carmen Lerm, of course, from a West Coast way. And Carmen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for just sharing and making everybody extra excited now about the West Coast. Because that's what you've done. You've made everybody just extra excited. But we're going to wrap with you shortly. But it is now time for the feature, Rhoda.
That is time now for Mahala Monday. What's happening? So we'll be going over through to Annette and she'll tell us what's happening.
Yeah, excited about this one. What has Annette got to tell us this week?
Thank you, Rhoda Dugald. Good evening and welcome to your July edition of Mahala Monday What's Happening. From Banhoek to Banhoek, visit the Dwarsrivier village. And tonight I'm sharing what to do where there is always something happening. The Banhoek Valley, historically known as the Bangehoek, translates to scary corner. This name reflects the valley's early reputation for the challenging mountain passes, wild animals like lions and leopards, and gangs of criminals, making the journey to the valley a daunting experience for early settlers. Today, the valley is a picture-perfect wine region with vineyards planted on mountain slopes and is known as Banhoek. Kick off your visit to the Dwarsrivier village with a stay Bertha retreat. A retreat and conference settling to space only 45 minutes outside of Cape Town on Boschendal Wine Farm. At the retreat, Bertha Foundation grantees, NGOs, partner organizations, the surrounding communities and other users can meet to connect, work, strategize and reflect. Bertha Retreat includes accommodation for 34 people, a conference center and meeting rooms. Indulge in the great food and warm hospitality. Bertha Retreat has a flourishing microfarming and food production project, as well as community resource centers. Make your way to the Banhoek Chili Oil Company, where you can taste and buy 100% natural premium quality chili infused oil, grown and produced right there on the premises. What started off as a home business operated from a garage has now turned into a festive range of products. Take a tour, taste the chili and olives and have lunch at the Leopard's Lounge. Home dining is the perfect way to support the community and learn more about the area, firsthand from the locals, whilst enjoying homemade cuisine. Dwarsrivier Village proudly has 2 innovative ladies just waiting to make you feel like family. Beker and Board is run by Sina Charles and Eleanor's Catering is run by Eleanor Peterson in the quaint villages of Kailmore and Peel, situated at the foot of the Simonsberg. Wine tasting is a must, and at Le Pommier Wine Estate you will be spoiled with a fabulous view. Here rustic dining and fine wine meet. With its distinctive French name, it is a reminder that the part of the farm on which it stands was once a flourishing apple orchard. Driving home is never a good idea after a wine tasting. Banhoek Corner Guest House boasts with 11 elegantly appointed rooms in a warm and inviting garden setting, an ideal place to rest after you've been exploring the Banhoek Valley. For August, that's a wrap. Keep warm and safe, and remember that in a world where you can be anything, being kind is always a good start. Good night, and over to you, Rhoda Dugald.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you very much. Yes, Annette, some exciting stuff. And people always, you're going to ask yourself, where does Annette find
all this information? Oh, and just obviously with Carmen as well, it's really a case of what she's saying, and you're making me very excited. Very excited.
Stuff
oh,
there.
exciting.
Two
times.
things though. The chili farm, you got to go check it out. They mentioned
Definitely.
Leopard Lounge as well, which is really, really, really awesome. That is fabulous. So yes, and thank you very much, Annette. Of course, and don't forget that Annette will be back with us the final Monday of next month for another edition of Mahala Monday, What's Happening with Annette, which is always brilliant. And Annette, keep finding these gems. Keep finding it. That is it. With us tonight, Carmen Lerm from West Coast Way. Of course, for all the information you need, just go check out the website. Go onto the website of westcoastway.co.za. As easy as that, of course. And that is where people can find out everything and anything.
Indeed. We are going now into our 11th year.
Oh, wow.
West Coast Way has 110 things to see and do on the West Coast. Right through the year. This is now excluding the flowers. So we invite people to come and visit our area. And The West Coast starts from Blouberg all the way up.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of
Sure.
distance
Look at
to cover.
How beautiful is that?
Look at that.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that's the Bedo Valley.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And then just a quick one. If obviously some people are necessarily not going on the tour, is there any tips for anybody out there just wanting to, like you say, leave the morning and actually come home the evening, and just few tips for them?
I'd definitely suggest that you definitely go to the West Coast National Park.
Okay.
Try, if possible, try and go not over the weekend. Because it becomes, very, very popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can go and braai at the West Coast National Park. No alcohol allowed, as with most national parks in South Africa. Take your bathing costume with. Be brave. Take your bathing costume with. Go and swim around Preekstoel, crawl by, also in the West Coast National Park. And then visit and go into Postberg, which is only open August and September every year. And it's quite interesting because there's not a lot of people going there the rest of the year. So the animals are in abundance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, if you go with your kids, just the idea that that's where that idea of the mega park. It's like a mega park. Yeah. And just driving through there and, spotting this eland or whatever, it's very interesting. So I really do think that the West Coast National Park offers incredible value for South Africans. They've also got a week where there's it's free entry. Take your South African ID book with to qualify for the special fees.
ID book.
And leave no trace.
Leave no
Don't
trace.
leave
I like
your
that.
bags behind or whatever. Take all your rubbish back home.
I like that. And I need to emphasize that, Carmen, because I think that is one of the bigger problems I find with a lot of people. Please don't leave your, what did you say now,
leave no trace.
Leave no trace.
Only your feet, only your footsteps.
That's
and
all.
That's it. Yeah.
Take all your dirt with you, please.
Yeah. Tread lightly.
Tread lightly.
Yeah. And in terms of the flowers, the flower turns always towards the sun. Okay. I've had people, they phone and they say, we don't understand, we didn't see any flowers. But then when we looked in our rear view mirror, we saw all the flowers along the route. So that's what you've got to be aware of, is that, keep the sun behind you and the flowers will face you.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, look how beautiful is that. Oh, stunning.
Yeah, so that's in the West Coast National Park, Langebaan area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, stunning.
That's a cutstad, the yellow, that is a cutstad, that's typical Maatjiesfontein in Nieuwoudtville, so your Nieuwoudtville area. And of course then we've got all these other little oakies like the tortoises and so on. They're all part of this beautiful ecology. That's the team,
I was
the
say,
dream team.
And who's that?
That's the West Coast Way dream team. We make it happen for our clients.
Lovely, well done.
That's everybody there. Absolutely fantastic. Carmen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was so lovely.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel so
brilliant.
enlightened. I mean, I'm excited now. We need to start.
It does beg a question though. Is the West Coast is now our number one spot? You see the argument continues, right? Yeah, you see.
Dougal.
See what you've done?
You see what you've done now.
Yes,
I'm seriously looking at that being now my number one destination.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I think you guys need some nature therapy.
Stop us fighting.
But what you got to do is you got to go check it out. Okay, so first things first, the West Coast Way. .co.za, that is the website. You'll find all the information there as well. And don't forget to follow Carmen and her team at West Coast Way on the socials. You'll find them on Facebook, which is West Coast Way SA. Same for X and Twitter. Instagram as well, definitely exactly the same. But on the website, of course, you will find all the details. Then the bombshell dropped because Carmen gave you a wonderful opportunity, an amazing offer. just for you right now. The early bird special, that's what I'm going to call it, the Mahala Monday early bird special.
Yes.
I was unaware until Carmen said it live in the show. But the dates for 2026 is out, and that's the most important thing. So since these dates are out, what you got to do is the last 2 weeks of August, first 2 weeks of September, those tours will come at this year's rate. We're talking 2026, okay? So depart Friday, return Tuesday. Those are the details. But of course, everything you will find out on the website. So definitely visit. Carmen Lerm, thank you so much once again. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Really
Absolutely.
amazing.
I thoroughly enjoyed
Absolute
that.
pleasure. Absolute
Thank you.
pleasure. So thanks for joining us. So yes, Rhoda, what can I say? Because the argument continues, but the one thing that is cemented, the West Coast is a jewel when it comes to tourism.
Definitely.
It really is.
We can't argue that.
And the one thing there is, and I like the way Carmen phrased it as well, like flowers become sexy. It is, because, you know what I mean? It really is, because we tend to, we got to be a little bit more in touch with nature, but also there's a greater appreciation for this, especially when it comes to, when we look at all these things we're constantly battling and talking about, like global warming and everything else. This is the true appreciation of it, because it is one of those where nature is really the calling card, and there's no better artist than nature. So let's get that clear.
Let's get that clear.
You can't compete with that. And we have it in our backyards.
In our backyard.
It is accessible to all of us. So this is very important. So it's a greater appreciation. And also in September, there's the school holidays, there's the day drives, especially if you're out at the Cape Side. You know, you can do that a weekend away, just a day trip. Easy, accessible, but the West Coast is a real gem. And there's a reason that so many people are flogging there and actually making that their personal home now, isn't it? So a definite reason for it. But you'll find out everything you need to know. Just go westcoastway.co.za. That's where you need to go. Is that it?
That's it to go. And we'll see you on the West Coast.
Yeah. So thank you very much again for watching. Don't forget to do us the big favor. Really, you will help us quite a bit if you can subscribe. Thank you for the wonderful comments. Thank you to our fantastic guests that came in. And thank you for watching. And then also to Annette. Oh boy, Annette just add like a cherry on top of the cake of awesomeness that everybody wants to eat now. Like a big pudding.
Yes, it is.
Big pudding. And we'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye. Everybody.